Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and we're on Park Road 4 in Central Texas. It goes by Inks Lake State Park. It winds through the Texas Hill Country. A pretty drive. So while we're doing that, though, I have a topic that was suggested to me by a viewer, left a comment. And the comment question required such a lengthy response that I didn't answer it in a comment, and I said I'd do it in a video, so this is it. The question or comment was this: could I respond to the do's and don'ts during selling or buying an RV? Yes, I can do that, but it's just going to be my response based on my experience. Am I an expert? I don't know what an expert in this area would be, but I have bought and sold a few. Does that qualify me? Well, maybe it gives me some experience, or I've had some experiences with doing these things. So we'll start off with buying, and then we'll get to the easy part, selling, or buying an RV. Now, there's a difference between buying a new RV and buying a used RV, obviously. And I'm not going to discuss brand names or quality of manufacturer and all that stuff. That's a whole different bag of worms, and there's so many variables in that it would take a week. So we'll just start with the simple things about buying an RV. First of all, define what you need or want, whatever that might be. How big, whatever, travel trailer, motor home, class A, B, C, D. Once you've got over that hurdle, then, or maybe in the process, you will have already gone by some dealerships. But whenever you go by dealerships, be careful. Why? Because salesmen are good and they're hungry. I don't care if they're retired Air Force, generals, whatever, or retired from anything. They're still greedy as hell, just like every human being on this planet is, probably. And will they lie to you? Well, let's just say they'll take some liberties with the truth. So, you may be, if you just go in looking for an RV, but you have the money to buy, and you're in the mode to buy, be careful. Because they may move you from looking to buying quickly, and you'll end up with something you really didn't want or need. So take your time in the buying process. Define, if you go into a dealership and you know what you want and what you're willing to pay for that unit, having checked out prices on the internet, and my gosh, nowadays you can find out exactly what that unit is retailing for, and what the low number is and the high number is, and where you are in the process. So get your numbers, know your numbers before you go to the dealership, because they're going to come up with, you're going to be there and you're going to look at a unit that you think, man, this is the one we really need. It's got 12 pop-outs and 4 pop-ups, and this is the one we got to have because it's got a barbecue grill and a 50-inch TV on the roof, and yet that's just the one you want. All I got to tell you is that they'll move you from buying, from looking to buying, because what they'll tell you is they're going to go check with the manager and see if they can't get you a super deal, and they're going to come back and tell you that they haven't. You're not going to believe this. We're having a one-day sale on this product. Today you can get it. It's regularly $150,000, and you lucky dog, this 14-foot RV today is only $98,000. Boy, what a deal! You lucky dog. And and that happens. So again, know your numbers, define your product, and shop until you drop, basically, because RV dealerships are not usually that close together, even in cities. Maybe they can be, but usually they're not. And but know your numbers, because salesmen can shift you from from looking to buying pretty quick. As far as the one recommendation I will make on the type of unit that you buy, if you buy a unit that is manufactured by a family-owned corporation, or it's a family-owned business, your chances of getting a quality product are somewhat better. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. Now, when it comes to selling an RV, well, let's talk about buying a used RV. Just a little bit about that. When you're buying a used RV, whether it's a motorhome or class A, B, C, D, whatever they've got, or a travel trailer, fifth wheel, whatever it happens to be, or anything, be sure and check the flooring in the bathroom, because if there's going to be a leak, it's usually in the bathroom area, and that fiber board in the bathrooms, once it gets wet, it's screwed, and if you kind of mash your foot down in those areas, if it's soft, you know you're going to have to replace that, or this thing it's had a leak somewhere. You can also check and see if the exterior wall stuff, the layer, the laminate or whatever they put on the walls is bubbled. If it is, it means water's gotten under there. And you can look at the roof, and it depends, it may have to be replaced. Those roofs, if they're in the sun, they're rubberized, they don't last very long. And but when you're buying a used unit, you're just going to have to be more careful than you would be buying a new unit. That's all, because you're just buying somebody else's problems. You may get lucky, and then again, you may not. Moving on now to selling an RV. When you've had an RV for a few years and you get ready to sell it, it's easy to know your numbers there too. Go on the internet and see what the high and low sales price for that particular unit is, and that gives you a ballpark. But if you know your unit is a clean unit, above average, etc., then go for the high side and don't back off. See, that the key there is don't back off. Somebody will buy your unit. You just have to be patient. The first few people that come up might be the sharks. They might be buying them for resale, and they want to lowball you and get that unit and take it and resell it. And that can happen. I mean, they're going to offer cash immediately, but to push you to sell for a lowball price. If you have to have the money, then do what you got to do. But if you can, hold out. Be patient. It may take a month or two or three, whatever, to sell the unit, and also it depends on the time of the year. The best time to sell used RVs is obviously in the spring, when people are starting to come out and shop for RVs and thinking about those things. And you can run your ad on RV Trader. It's not cheap. Or you can put it on eBay. That's another thing. Or the best place is to put it on Craigslist. That's free, and you'll get a lot of hits. I guarantee you. I've used Craigslist twice, and by God, it works. And as far as financing a used RV and somebody paying you, I wouldn't do that at all. Why? The chances of them paying you over a period of years, slim and none. If they can't get it financed, then you ought not finance it either. As far as the method of payment, I've actually had people bring me cash, which is good. I always, cash is good, no problem with that. I've had them send me certified checks. I've never had a problem with that. But what I did, before I sent the title, I waited 3 days at the bank's recommendation and then sent the title. And of course, I advised the buyer of that fact, that I would wait until that cleared before I sent them the title. Even though they had already taken possession of the unit, that's fine. They didn't have the title. But also, whenever you sell a unit, be sure and advise your insurance company that unit has been sold, and to who. If you should have their name and address and everything. And just be careful on that, because you don't want them to have an accident and it comes against your insurance or you. So be sure you're clear on that. What else can I tell you on selling a used unit? The market for used units, in my opinion, is fairly good. I never had a problem selling one within a reasonable amount of time. Probably the longest one I've had to hold on to is that Jayco J-Flight, the 28-footer, the bunkhouse model that I had here a few years ago. And it took about 3 months to sell it, which, and I had a good price on it, and I got a good price, so I'm not complaining. So, but other than that, guys, what can I tell you? This is Highway 29. I'm going to get some propane now in Buchanan Dam. But buying and selling RVs, be careful, because the salesmen are sharks. You can go on the internet and you can gather a ton of information on the internet without ever leaving your home. You can basically boil it down to a few units that you would be interested in buying, and that way you can really save yourself a lot of headaches. Because when you go to dealerships now, most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, you go in and you park somewhere and here they come like sharks. Hello, my name's Tom. How can I help? What can I sell you today? That's usually a good opening. And some of them have golf carts to drive you around to look at the different units. But it's all about getting you to buy now. They don't want you to leave that dealership, because they know if you leave the dealership, your chances of coming back and buying from them are reduced by more than 50%. They know their numbers. That's why they're in business. And let me say this about new units. New units have a tremendous markup in them. Tremendous. I mean, if they tell you, let's just say that they tell you it's a $30,000 fifth wheel, retails for $30,000. That means they could sell it to you for $15,000 and still make a good profit. That's how much markup there is in RVs. No kidding. It's freaking awesome. So, lowball the hell out of them. That's what I do. If they tell me, oh, this thing, we got it on sale today for $29,995. I say, well, man, that's wonderful. I'll give you $18,000 for it now. And you'd be surprised what'll happen. Next thing you know, you drive that thing out for $19,000. No, that's amazing, man. They can move. They can move. They will move, because they don't want you to walk. They don't want you to leave the dealership. So with that in mind, now we'll enjoy the drive till I get to the propane place and get me some propane. Gasoline up in this area in Marble Falls is $2.09 a gallon, which is great. Temperature right now is 80. This is actually a cool day in Texas. It's about 10 a.m. and it's 80. That's pretty damn nice. The only reason it's 80 is because we've got some nice cloud cover, and also the sun is setting a little earlier. The sunshine part of the day is getting a little shorter, and that'll cool us down here in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, to something we can live with. Good to be back. Haven't been this part of on this road in a long time. I could have done this video at home in my RV, sitting at my table and looking at the camera like I do for comment call. But really, guys, I'd rather get out and do this. And I know some of you like to see the country around where I live and just outside driving, because some of you may live in areas that, where you can't get out and drive around too much because of the traffic and so forth. But, this is pretty country up here, and there's not a lot of traffic. This is Highway 29 is a fairly major highway connecting Burnett, Texas, or East and West Texas, because it goes all the way to Llano and on. To my right, which you may see a little of, is Lake Buchanan, one of the largest, in fact, the largest lake in the Highland Lakes chain, 22,000 acres of water, or of surface area. I've seen it where it was half of that of water. The full level on that lake is elevation of 1,022 feet, I believe. I think it's probably close to that now, because it looks like it's almost full. This is the little unincorporated community of Lake Buchanan, or Buchanan Dam. Actually, it's Buchanan Dam. There's the post office. That's where I got the name of my channel from, that little post office here in Buchanan Dam. The zip code is 78609. And when I did my first video 7 years ago, or 8 years ago, you had to have a channel name. I couldn't think of a thing, so I called it Rusty 78609, because I didn't want to label it, RVing or anything like that, because that kind of, it's like being typecast. Then you've got to do things related to that, and I wanted to be able to do videos related to anything I pleased. So I have a generic title or generic name. Anyway, guys, we're getting close to the propane place up here on the right. Why do I go to this little propane place? They're rarely busy and their prices are as good as anywhere. So from Buchanan Dam, Texas, this is Rusty 78609 saying thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Carpe diem means seize the day. It's Latin. Carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want, anytime. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all of my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission. It doesn't cost you 1 penny. Some of you are and some of you have, and I appreciate that very much. What else? Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. It'll help you avoid gout, kidney stones, and it'll also help you lose weight because you'll be full of water and you won't want to eat so much. What else? Take deep breaths. Breathe in really deep, hold it for a few seconds, and then breathe out slowly. Why? Because that relieves stress, and relieving stress does what? Lowers your blood pressure. Is that good for you? Sure it is. Then stretch, walk, exercise your body, and then stand guard at the door of your mind, guys. You'll never regret that. I guarantee you. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and enjoy your life one day at a time. And so's gas at that Valero is $2.45 here in Buchanan Dam, and about 12 miles away it's $2.09. Anyway, guys, adios amigos, bye bye.